Today I'm going to go over some uncommon makeup tips that I have recently learned. I do want to say that uncommon to me does not mean it's uncommon to you. These are just things that I researched for myself and I've learned myself and I decided to share today. So the first one is called the pound sign smoky eye, and this is just basically a way to do smoky eyes. What this technique does is apply eye makeup in the areas that you need it and give you the perfect smoky eyes. So essentially, you draw a pound sign on your eye. This is a fat, it's a fat eyeliner, so it's not going to be as clean. And then you take your brush, you're supposed to blend it out, and it disperses the product in the areas where you need it for the perfect smoky eye. So let's see. It's a gel eyeliner, so it sets pretty fast. It's by Marc Jacobs and I love it. Okay, so that's a better one. But I would like to know your thoughts. What do you think? Pound sign smoky eye, yes or no? This is a cream blush product. It says to apply this to your cheeks before foundation to give a more natural flush. I feel like this blush, I feel as though this blush gives me a natural flush anyway. It looks like I worked out. This is a really good blush because it's peachy and that's why I enjoy it, and a little goes a long way. I like to use this when I'm not using setting powder on my face. So next is to go in with the foundation. So I'm going to be using the Born This Way foundation today. This is the shade Jackie Aina collaborated with Too Faced for, and it's Praline, I think. Praline. A little bit on my brush and start at my chin. I've started really falling in love with this foundation. At first I liked it, but it wasn't life-changing to me. Oh, the baby is awake. So I'm just applying the foundation over the blush. I do see the natural flush. You want to go? Go where? Okay. So I definitely think that that gave me a good natural flush. What do you think? Yes? No? Do you like it? I find that for a more natural look, if you're doing no makeup, that's a good technique to follow. So check. So the next tip is concealer. So if you don't have a concealer or you don't have the color that you need, you can use your foundation. So I'm gonna use that same foundation. Then you're supposed to take a little bit of translucent powder and mix it in with the foundation. It definitely is thick, so I would use as little powder as possible. But we're gonna try to use it as concealer. Oh, it is thicker. So I'm going to use my brush to see if this helps. We'll see if this is a good tip or not. It looks a little heavy and cakey, not the way I prefer concealer. So I would sparingly mix in the powder. I'm going to pump in a little more foundation and see if that thins it out. Because concealer, there are thick concealers and then there are thin concealers, and I like the thin kind. I think this is a good tip if you're in a pinch and you don't have any concealer and you need something, or you've run out of your favorite concealer and you need some coverage. This is a good tip. I don't think I would necessarily use this all the time because concealer for me has a different texture to it. The powder mixed into it is making it sit on my skin funny, but that also could be the type of foundation. So I would experiment with this. I don't think it's bad coverage. I just think that the texture of the powder, and I used Laura Mercier. Laura Mercier is the best in my opinion for setting powders. It is my all-time favorite one. My fingertips are warm, so I think it's further mixing in that powder Next one is the smooth primer over foundation for more glow to your skin and to give your skin a glowy appearance. So I always apply primers and all of that stuff underneath foundation. I'm going to use the foundation primer hydrating from Laura Mercier. This is my favorite primer. So I'll just apply this in the areas where I want to glow. My foundation brush to kind of further stipple it in. I hope this doesn't remove the current foundation because it's looking like it's sitting on my skin a little weird. So maybe if you need to remove product before setting your face, this is a good idea. I do think that's a good technique to thin out products, but I think I prefer doing the glow as a base and then just building on top of it and not touching it with powder or anything for that glow. You guys know I love a specific kind of glow. Uncommon tip that I have come across for brows. Pat concealer on any bare spots of your brow that powder is not catching onto, and it's supposed to concealer though? I know powder, but concealer? So I'm gonna use the Anastasia brow powder. I don't use brow powders much. I'm getting back into it. Again, I don't use a lot of powder brow products because I just find that it takes a little too long for me to fill them in, but maybe this concealer trick will change my mind. We'll see. So I do love that this gives a softer look to the brow. It's not always harsh. I guess this is good for powder because powder is going to cling on to that area. So it's supposed to be for bald spots. I would say this works. Yeah, I would say it does. So I found out that if you apply brow product to the tail of the brow first and then work your way in, it will hold better. First the tail and then, oh, I do love the way that it looks a lot better. Oh, good tip. I'm gonna start doing that now. Before I move on back to the face, it says to make your eyeliner glide on a lot smoother, more like a liquid or gel liner, you are supposed to dip it in lip balm and then apply it. I'm gonna apply this to the upper lash line. Oh, yeah, it does.
What
a good tip. I'm gonna use that one too. Yes, that's a good tip. It just blends out a little bit easier. The only gripe I would have with it is that it would make your liner a little more glossy rather than matte. So if you're not into that, I would just go in with a mechanical eye pencil, which tends to be a little more creamier. Not a bad tip though, not a bad tip. So next I'm going to apply my blush in a V shape to give a more matte, natural looking flush. Now I did apply the blush to my face underneath and I still see that, so I'm gonna have to take a more intense color. This is a pretty intense color. So this is Laura Mercier's Pomegranate blush. I'm gonna use this new It Cosmetics brush. It's so pretty. It says a V, so I'm assuming like this. What do we think? I can see a more natural flush. I think I prefer underneath the foundation blush tip more than I preferred this one. It's making my face look a little more rounder, but I also don't have contour, so yeah. Those are some uncommon makeup tips that I've been learning and trying. I hope you found this video some type of helpful. I would like to know what you thought of these tips, so comment down below, let me know. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any more of these videos, and I will see you next time.